Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to Bloodborne. So I actually screwed up here and lost all of the commentary I had done. So I'm doing all of this right now in post. So we'll see how that goes. I think I fixed it, so it won't be happening like that again. But here we are, in the lecture building. This is a really cool area, but first we'll speak to Patches.
What a joy it is to behold the divine. It must be such a pleasure. You're in my debt, you know. You're nigh on a beast of the field. But here you are, treading a measure with the gods. Are your feet as fat as your wits? Oh, cease this dithering. Take the plunge. Throw yourself to the wolves.
Awesome. So I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I think I'll just go with the idea that whatever I say goes. I'm not going to go back and restate anything, so that it still maintains the sort of, ooh, he's saying it on the spot. And this is the lecture hall. I have no idea why I went down this hallway. There's obviously nothing over here. I think I was assuming there was an item down there, but for some reason it didn't click that there would be a glowing thing if there was an item down there. But yeah, so I really love the lecture building. It's so different from everything else in the game. It's sort of reminiscent of Yosefka's clinic, but at the same time it's very different because of how clean it is. It doesn't look like it's been taken over or destroyed by beasts. I also really like how these vials and stuff, they look very modern, but at the same time there's something old and sort of weird about them. So right here, you're going to want to go to either of the sides first or just dodge right away in front of you, because there's going to be a guy that drops down. My preferred weapon in this area is the Ludwig's Holy Blade, because we're going to be getting a lot of enemies like that, and I just tend to find that they're easier to deal with when you have this, because they're sweeping. The weapons have a sweeping motion, and it does induce a little bit of stagger. And I think I'm gonna open the menu in a minute. But yeah, they induce a little bit of stagger, so it makes it easier to deal with those guys, especially since a little bit later we're going to be getting into having a lot more than one at once. So let's see. Key to the lecture theater in the lecture building. Today the two-story lecture building is adrift in the nightmare, but once it was a place of reflection, where scholars learned of history and archaeology. Perhaps it still is, as the students of the lecture theater appear to await the return of their professor. Yep, then I'm going to go to the clothing. Go to it. It's so weird watching this again like this. It's like, oh my god, why is it taking so long for me to do stuff? So yeah, the pants that you pick up are exactly the same. That's the one we got at Bergenworth. Uniform... stop. Uniform of the students of Bergenworth, a bygone institute of learning. This alternative lacks the thick cape. The Healing Church has its roots in Bergenworth. It naturally borrows heavily from its uniform design. The focus not on knowledge or thought, but pure pretension would surely bring Master Willem to despair, if only he knew. See, I really, really love the lecture building. The idea behind it is so cool. It reminds me of getting lost in time and space in like Lovecraft stuff, especially when you're playing like Arkham Horror, which is, you know, when you die a certain way, you get lost in time and space. And I like the idea that during the whole Healing Church and the whole, well, yeah, how to say this, the falling out between the Healing Church and Bergenworth, that at some point the church decided that it was just too much to deal with having the shadow of Bergenworth lying over them. So rather than let the college continued to exist, they threw it basically into non-existence. What is this? Red jelly. Red jelly, I think, is for... What do you call those? No, wait, don't open it. But it's for, I believe, chalice dungeons. Lum-da-dum. Okay. This is a room. Be careful. Yep, there's a guy right up there. Not really hard to... If they fall onto you, they sort of latch on and start sucking at your life a bit. So there's that. See anything else I can say about this place? Oh, I think I'm gonna sort of point it out later. As you can see, there's 2 stories to this place. We can't go up to the 2nd story now. We will be able to later. And this is me not realizing how to move to the room that I want to go to because I'm not looking at the right side. Completely on the wrong side. Oh no, I'm totally on the right side. That's what it is. It's the door right there. Be careful when you open this door. You have a chance, if you're doing things oddly, to aggro all of these at once. I mean, not all aggro at once, but sometimes, I think the first time I did this, all these guys were right on top of me from the very beginning. So this is where having the Holy Blade is really handy because it has these sweeping attacks. If you use another weapon, like the Dreaded Cane or the Saw Cleaver, you would be able to have a sweeping attack and hit all of them. It just wouldn't sort of make them all fluster as effective as the Holy Blade. And these guys have freaking long arms. Kind of reminds me of the Shadow Inferno. Boss, I really like it. Yep. It's so crazy to think that the students turned into this. I mean, and which students were these? Were these the students from the original Bergenworth, or were they students from Bergenworth when it was co-opted by the Healing Church? Because it mentioned Master Willem, and you pick up uniform, and it says that it was sort of derived from the healing, from Bergenworth, but you don't really know, because the Augur of Abritus, freaking awesome spell. It's like the spells, I'm gonna read it, I think. Remnants of the Eldritch Truth encountered at Bergenworth. Use phantasms, the invertebrates known as the Augurs of the Great Ones, to partially summon abandoned Abritus. The initial encounter marked the start of an inquiry into the cosmos from within the old labyrinth and led to the establishment of the choir. Yep. So Abritus, the Augur of Abritus lets you do the spell that some people have used on you already. Yosefka and the Huntress at Bergenworth lets you shoot like snakes out of your hand, and it's not actually a snake, it's closer to squidliness, but not. And that's the first time we learn sort of, so at the Bergenworth we learned that Master Willem's student became Rom, the vacuous spider, which was a great one in some way, but if anything he was a lesser great old one. And the Augur of Abritus shows that the great old ones were not always bad guys in our eyes, but they actually helped us sort of learn to become who we are today. Now, welcome to my nightmare. This is the Nightmare Frontier. In about a moment, my system is just suddenly gonna drop the internet connection for some reason. And look, it's the thing down there. Ooh, pretty. And lost internet connection. And we're back. So something I've been saying sort of throughout is that If you see it, you can go to it, and I really love this because down there is actually the boss arena, and we're going to be going through, sort of in a circle through this entire area, and eventually making it down there. Bell ringing woman rings her sinister bell. I absolutely hate the bell ringing woman. Specifically, later on when we go to the unseen village, I call those ones the bell ringing bitches, because like, I know it's like that's totally a bad thing to say, but they do something you're gonna see later that just I cannot stand. They make the game so much more difficult, and they give you throw a whole new rule at you that you weren't really expecting. So the reason the bell ringing woman is here in this area is because the Nightmare Frontier is a PvP hell zone. Down there is actually the shortcut that we'll be getting that will allow us to go back. Yeah, let's go around again. So yeah, there's a bell ringing woman in this area. If you kill the bell ringing woman, she will stop summoning people. Okay, this is the worst I've ever done in PvP, so yeah. But also there's something kind of weird. Usually in PvP, at least in my experience, a person won't just immediately go straight into the battle. Usually people will sort of stop and... Okay, so... I have no idea why I was like planning everything and then didn't actually do anything. It's like, oh, I'm gonna take out the gun and then I'm gonna use bone marrow ash and stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Don't worry if you die. You can go and kill an enemy or pick up your blood echoes wherever, which is somewhere nearby. But yeah, usually when you do PvP, the person that you're fighting with, you both sort of take a step back and like do one of the like bows or something like that. And so it's kind of weird for me to do this and not have that. I'm not saying that I'm not excusing my loss, because that was just pitiful. But I'm just saying, in general, if you're playing the game, a lot of times people sort of see it as a courtesy to bow or wave or something like that before getting into the fight. You know, recognizing that we're both here, we're both sort of just sort of here to play the game, and that we respect each other. And I really like that. And I highly doubt that if that had happened, that the results would have changed. So these guys, Silver Beasts, really tough to deal with. They have 2 phases and a number of different attacks. I guess 3. The first phase we've seen a couple times already is they are... Not that one. Is they are sitting down. While they're sitting down, they are not locked. You can't lock onto them, but they're still enemies. They're not like some other, what do you call it, NPCs. Also, if you go back a little bit, you'll see these scurry beasts that was giant and stuff. That is indeed a scurry beast. They will attack you though, and they can devastating attacks. Another form the Silver Beasts have, or the second phase of their fighting, is they stand up and they will start attacking you. And during that time, they can stand up and release sort of an EMP. Yeah, all that down there is a poison swamp, some pretty nasty enemies. Yep. So Silver Beasts, bad. This area over here, that I'm sort of, just right in front of me now, not over there. Be careful when you go here. Regardless of whether the Bell Maiden is alive, which she will be at this point, you want to be very careful because you will start off coming in and you will aggro a hunter. At some point, during this fight, I think when he's around halfway or a quarter of his health down, a second hunter will run up and enter the spread as well. So you want to get rid of this guy as soon as possible. He uses a hunter axe. I don't think he ever changes the length of the axe. He's a close range fighter. The other guy, on the other hand, is a long range. He'll use the threaded cane. And I absolutely hate that he uses the threaded cane because my first playthrough, I don't think I'd run up against an enemy that used threaded cane yet. And threaded cane was my main, and I didn't like how many times I died to a guy using my weapon. Like I said, he's a ranged enemy, so he will stay back and fire at you. And because they have friendly fire deactivated, they can't hurt each other. It's actually very tough to deal with. This is, I think, after Father Gascoigne, the first long-distance hunter you've dealt with. This is also the first time that we've dealt with two hunters at once. This is a setup for what happens later. We'll be fighting, I think, 3 or 4 hunters at once. Which is just good. And so yeah, it's not only fighting 2 at once, but you're also fighting 2 that complement each other. You've got the close range guy, you know, blah blah blah. Sort of like when you fight actual PvP with people and 2 people are against you. Usually they'll have one come and attack you, and when that person needs to drop back to heal, the other person will come in. I don't like a lot of elixir. It shifts your weight to make the deflection of attacks easier, but it really, really slows you down. And you have to, I mean, the way I play, I tend to like to move fast and jump around a lot. So I just find it detrimental to my playstyle. It might be good for you if you like it, but I will not be using it. Spirit Beast. Over there. Alright. And let's see. Run, roll jump, or jump. Like that. To get this item over here, which is kind of a little hidden. There is an item at the beginning of the area that I missed, by the way. I'm going to realize that it's there in the next episode and pick it up then, so don't even worry about that. Carlisle rune that describes inhuman sounds. The transcription of the Great One's inhuman voices ripples like a watery reflection. This rune means lake, and those who memorize it enjoy reduced fire damage. Great volumes of water serve as a bulwark guarding sleep and an augur of the eldritch truth. Overcome this hindrance and seek what is yours. Now I'm just back here. That was a really quick cut, shouldn't have done that. And now I'm just sort of standing here. I'm going to adjust my runes and level. So, yeah. So that was this time, and I will see you guys next time. Adios.
Welcome. What is it? Very well, let me start.